Good evening. This is All India Radio, Kohima. I'm Khelo with the evening news. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi launches Garib Kalyan Rojgar Abhiyaan in 6 states to provide employment to migrant workers. Recovery rate of COVID-19 in Nagaland reaches to 68% with 13 more tested negative. ENLU and ENPO meeting on JIC findings of Tuensang fiasco remained unresolved. And Nagaland State Sports Academy, Indira Gandhi Stadium, Kohima, selected for Khelo India State Centre of Excellence. Prime Minister Narendra Modi today launched a massive rural public works scheme, Garib Kalyan Rojgar Abhiyaan, in 6 states. He said this Abhiyaan will provide livelihood opportunities to the migrant workers and will help in the development of rural areas by creating local infrastructure. The campaign will be operationalized through the common service centers and Krishi Vigyan Kendras in the district. The Abhiyaan is being introduced through the coordinated effort of 12 different ministries and departments, namely Rural Development, Panchayati Raj, Road Transport and Highways, Mines, Drinking Water and Sanitation, Environment, Railways, Petroleum and Natural Gas, New and Renewable Energy, Border Roads, Telecom and Agriculture. The campaign of 125 days will be implemented on mission mode. A total of 116 districts with more than 25,000 returnee migrant workers across 6 states, namely Bihar, Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Jharkhand and Odisha have been chosen for the campaign, which includes 27 aspirational districts. In Nagaland, the recovery rate of COVID-19 has reached to 68% after 13 more patients have tested negative in their second test. Health and Family Welfare Minister S. Pangyupom in a tweet this evening said 11 are from Dimapur while 2 are from Kohima. Earlier, the state reported 3 more positive cases of COVID-19. The state has now 201 positive cases, out of which 63 are active while 138 have recovered. Union government today said that the recovery rate of COVID-19 reached 54.13% in the country and a total of 2,13,831 people have recovered so far. During the last 24 hours, 9,120 people have recovered from COVID-19. Presently, the total number of active corona cases in the country is 1,68,269. Health and Family Welfare Ministry said a total of 14,516 new cases have been reported in the last 24 hours, taking the total number of cases to 3,95,048. This is the highest number of cases registered in a single day since the outbreak of the pandemic in the country. Centre has written to the states to follow the guidelines for effective home isolation. The Health Ministry had issued revised guidelines regarding home isolation on the 10th of last month. The ministry said, as per the guidelines, very mild and pre-symptomatic COVID-19 patients can opt for home isolation provided the patient has a room to himself or herself with toilet facility and has an adult attendant or caregiver. The ministry said an important clause of the revised guideline is that the treating doctor is satisfied with the patient opting for home isolation based on medical assessment and assessment of his or her residential accommodation. In addition, the patient will fill in an undertaking on self-isolation and shall follow home quarantine guidelines. The ministry said that all such cases of home isolation will also be further monitored by teams of well-oriented doctors on a regular basis. Their discharge should follow the required guidelines and shall be reported as per norms. The ministry urged the states to ensure strict implementation of the guidelines on home isolation at the field level, effectively curb spread of COVID-19 pandemic. This news comes to you from All India Radio, Kohima. The meeting held today between the Eastern Nagaland Legislators Union (ENLU) and the Eastern Naga People's Organization (ENPO) on the findings and recommendations of the Judicial Inquiry Committee (JIC) on Tuensang fiasco on May 26 remained unresolved. The cabinet in its meeting yesterday had entrusted the ENLU to sit with the ENPO to discuss on the findings and recommendations of the JIC report. However, it was learned that the ENPO has not been briefed on the findings or the recommendations of the committee. Speaking to some journalists after the meeting, ENPO President Gekong Chim Yimchunger said that they have no idea about the JIC report findings and they have not discussed anything on those aspects. When asked on the outcome of today's meeting, Yimchunger said no decision has been arrived at and asserted that the issue is not between the ENLU and ENPO, but between the government and ENPO. He also informed that final decision will be taken in consultation with its frontal and tribal organizations leaders in its meeting scheduled on 23rd of this month at Dimapur. Health Minister S. Pangnupom, who is also the ENLU president, said the meeting was inconclusive and added that ENPO has asked for some more time to have a sitting with all its frontal leaders. Speaking on the contents of the JIC findings, Pangyu said the report is confidential and it cannot be disclosed publicly unless the cabinet decides so. Nagaland State Sports Academy, Indira Gandhi Stadium, Kohima, has been selected to be established as Khelo India State Center of Excellence, KISCE. In a press release, Advisor for Youth Resources and Sports, Zaleni Kha, said that it is a historic and defining moment for the people of Nagaland. He expressed gratitude to the Prime Minister, Union Sports Minister and State Chief Minister for recognizing the effort and given the opportunity to the state to upgrade its sporting facilities into a national level center of excellence. The advisor resolved that the State Youth Resources and Sports Department will strive to give its best in spite of the challenges in bringing about this opportunity into fruition. He said the support and cooperation of the people will be most important component in the endeavor towards Olympic excellence. Further challenging all the sportspersons of the state to take this opportunity and start sharpening their skills, Zale said the upcoming KISCE will give a platform to train and compete on par at the national level and represent India in the international arena, bringing laurels for the state and the country. It may be mentioned in the first phase of setting up KISCE, Sports Ministry has identified state-owned sports facilities in 8 states of India. They are Nagaland, Arunachal Pradesh, Manipur, Mizoram, Kerala, Telangana, Karnataka and Odisha. Tomorrow is International Yoga Day. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has appealed people to mark 6th International Yoga Day on Sunday at home with family while following all norms of physical distancing. In a video message, Modi said, "We are marking the 6th International Yoga Day in extraordinary times." He said, "Usually yoga is about public events and mass participation, but this year, Yoga Day goes indoors." The Prime Minister said the theme of the International Yoga Day this year is Yoga at Home and Yoga with Family. The theme for this year, as announced by the United Nations, is a theme that is the most befitting in this time of pandemic. And Kohima Municipal Council KMC has informed all general public to keep their personal protective equipments PPEs separately for safe disposal. In a circular, KMC Administrator Kovi Meyase has directed all panchayats and ward sanitation committees to inform their respective households to safely dispose the PPEs or pack separately and hand over to their respective sanitation vehicles for proper disposal at KMC dumping site, where a separate site is already arranged for such disposal. The KMC has appealed to all citizens not to dispose any sort of PPEs in public waste bins or public places for safety of all. To end the news, the headlines here again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi launches Garib Kalyan Rojgar Abhiyaan in 6 states to provide employment to migrant workers. Recovery rate of COVID-19 in Nagaland reaches to 68% with 13 more tested negative. ENLU and ENPO meeting on JIC findings of Tuensang fiasco remain unresolved. And Nagaland State Sports Academy, Indira Gandhi Stadium, Kohima, selected for Khelo India State Center of Excellence. That's all we have in this evening news bulletin. Good night.